Okay, I think we can begin. Although I said that the stream will be at 7 p.m. I'm just sitting here and I'm like, what to do next, why wait? So let's not wait and let's have this thing over. Well, not really over, because today I have a plan to do quite a lot of building and rebuilding, because I need some motivation to do some work on my drones and in general on my stuff. I got some new hardware. I got a bunch of Radio Master receivers, like plenty of them, because I'm kind of switching to Express LRS right now. Because Ghost is going like I'm gonna ghost the Ghost, because I lost the faith in the immersion RC. So that's the situation. And I also need some motivation to do some actually soldering and tinkering and stuff like that. That's why we had a live stream yesterday. We're gonna have the live stream today. If you have any questions, topics, just drop them in the chat. Pretty good chance that I will have time and take effort to respond to them. To answer the Cool Cat question about this thing, no, I have not, but today I've set it up. I set up mixer, I set up PID controller, some overrides, because this is running some custom crap. And the idea is that when I will find some time, I will try to hover this thing. And of course, after slapping the propellers over here and, pretending that it's a real thing. It's almost like my flying stick project. But this is not happening today. This will happen kind of later. We still have time because the weather is still abysmal outside. Today, however, we will be working on something completely different. Today we will be working on this, exactly on this thing, and we're gonna kill it. Unfortunately, I think it's time to kill this drone, because although it's amazing, it's like super fantastic long range mega capabilities. Pirx 7 I have since like 3 years now, because this is something that I created just before the COVID started. Let's say the technology moves slightly forward, and although when I created this frame and the drone by itself, it was for something else. It was for the long range cruising and designed for the analog, with plenty of space in the front, plenty of space in the back and everything. But turns out that this frame is just too big for everything that I need, because I just don't need everything like that. So I'm gonna transfer the electronics and the motors and basically everything, minus some stuff, to my other frame, the same frame that we were working yesterday, which is the Pirx HD.7, which is also a 7-incher, but slightly smaller than this thing, also slightly lighter, but still have enough of the space for everything, and I have an amazing tune for it. So that's what we will be working. I will be working actually today on. First, I think, assemble the frame, then we're gonna disassemble this frame, and then finally we will see what's gonna happen next. So the top camera is up. I think then I can I think I can, we have a question from Rupak from India. I'm building a drone using Matek 405 Mini 3rd edition. I'm using a servo gimbal on S9 port. Can you please tell me how to control it using the VR knob? You just have to add the mixer. You have to add the mixer to your drone, add a servo in the mixer in iNav, and pass one of the channels to this. I don't think we're gonna do this tutorial today, but enough. Cool Cat says that Express LRS is great control link, no ghost required. Yeah, well, the thing is that both Express LRS and Ghost and Tracer is exactly the same hardware. When we are talking about the radio chipset that is inside of all of those three links, this is exactly the same hardware. The difference is only on the basically only on the interface protocol, because even like it's not that you can do magic for the radio link. You just take what the RF chip offers, configure it, like use this spreading, this frequency, this setting with one of n, and this is not like n thousands, and you have the link with certain sensitivity at the end, and that's all. Yes, there is some magic about how you're gonna chop the data and like send it through the air, but the range will be basically almost exactly the same as long as you choose the mode with the similar sensitivity at the end. So yeah. Tracer and LRS are worlds apart, but this is only because they are using different modulation. Because last time I checked, the Express LRS by standard mode was using the LoRa, and the Tracer was using, I don't remember which one, but that was definitely not a LoRa. So that's basically all, and there is not really that much to add. But besides, they are, like I said, they are basically almost the same in terms of the hardware. Antti has a question: why am I disappointed with the Immersion RC? I'm disappointed with the Immersion RC because they kinda promised a lot in terms of the Ghost, but never really delivered everything that was promised. I don't have anything against the link itself, because some of the features of the Ghost are just amazing, like the over-the-air updates. You just flash the transmitter and then all the receivers will automatically update themselves, so this is fine. However, they promise quite a lot in terms of the telemetry and the possibilities of the link, but never really delivered on that. And yeah, plus it's so simple to get a radio which has the Express LRS transmitter right now, and just use it like the Boxer. I'm switching to Boxer, and because this thing has the Express LRS inside, why not just to use it? And then I will have just one radio with one module, and I will sell all my Ghost stuff, and I will have less crap around me. So that's that. Nothing against the quality and stuff, but that's all. Yeah, Antti, exactly. That was FLRC, which is slightly better than the standard modulation, but this modulation really like tells you how much data you can put into the air and how fast you can transmit data, and also how sensitive the receiver can be, because it's not really all that simple. Let me get some screws and let me get some standoffs, because I think it's time for us to start assembling the frame before I will start disassembling the frame. And just like yesterday, we will be working with the Pirx HD.7. Probably I will put a link somewhere where you can, if you really want to, you can get the frame. We'll need 25mm standoff, so give me a moment. I will be back with some boxes. More screws. And finally some more screws and standoffs. Probably the question number one that we will have to answer is about the color of the standoffs on the frame. What we have, I should have gold, I should have blue, and I should have orange. So which color should we use? The gold ones are, I think, 30 millimeters. By the way, standoffs, they are absurdly expensive stuff. And for all those pieces of aluminium, the fact that you have to pay that much for the crap is just incredible. So silver, yeah, that silver doesn't really look good. We have those golden, okay, and we have, no, those are 30 millimeters, those are 20 millimeters. Do I have blue 25 millimeter? No, and I should also have the, no, this is M2, so not, and dark, and orange, but this is orange. So which standoffs should we choose? How do you think? Silver, golden, orange. I don't want to run a poll, but you know, just write in the comments which color of the standoffs we will use in this build. And I will need how many standoffs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 standoffs. So which one? Maybe we can add a poll because standoffs. No blue. So gold, orange, silver. And really, like, whenever you will decide it's a good thing to design your own frame, think about standoffs. They are absurdly hard to get and they are absurdly expensive. Really, like, I was never really, before I started doing this thing, I never really expected that you're gonna have to pay so much for the good quality standoffs. Even the aluminum ones, which is not really something like super fancy. If they are available locally, they are even more expensive, but even if you get them from China, they are expensive as well. Screws, nuts, super cheap. Standoffs, for unknown really reason to anyone, super expensive. I don't remember what are the prices right now, and I see that the golden ones are winning, so probably the golden ones will be just used in this build. Because, well, why not? I already have the arms prepared, so we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, and here I should have all the other elements for the frame. So let's see how this thing gonna look like. By the way, anything interesting happened since yesterday? I doubt, but who knows? Who has the time between the Christmas and the New Year off? And who's working? I hope nobody. Because working kinda... I don't like working. I hate going to work. If you really ask me. But, you know... There's only as many days of the paid vacation as you can have. So this is the rear section, like this, and this will be a front section like this with some extra bits and pieces over here, and of course the top section. So that's basically how the frame gonna look like, and I see that absolutely the gold version won. So we just will go with the golden standoffs. By the way, also yesterday there were questions about the thread lock and the thread lock I'm using. This is the stuff I'm using. I have no idea if this thing is available outside of the Poland. In Poland, you just go to the Castorama store, which is French, by the way, and get this thing. Today I paid $6 for this bottle, so much less than the quality Loctite. works as well as the Loctite, absolutely no problem with anything. So why to pay more for the Loctite when you can just use this thing? Sure, maybe there are some special applications when you could use the much more expensive Loctite stuff, but you really would have to find the whoa, airframe FPV, first 2 weeks I've taken off in 10 years. No, really? Come on. Come on, you have to rest from time to time. Working too hard is not good for you. Okay, so those screws are too short. How long are those? Those are 14. So probably I will have to find 16 millimeters long M3. This is 12 millimeters, so no, this is too long, too long. I'm pretty sure it's too long. Nah, it will be fine. This is 20 millimeters, so too long. I have too many of the screws, as you can see. Like screws everywhere with different sizes. And not always they are like sorted in the correct size. Okay, this is 15 millimeters. No, this is 16 millimeters. So they should be fine over there. And yeah, so we're gonna just use the 16 millimeter screws, M3 screws, to install the standoffs and to assemble the whole frame, which is, by the way, the super simple process. Like, put 8 screws and you have the frame almost assembled. So nothing really super fancy. Yeah, you nailed it. Absolutely. Like me, for example, this year in the November, I was, for example, taking Wednesdays off because I decided, why not? I have so much of the paid vacation because I was not using that I was basically not working Wednesdays, November, December, because I had to use my vacation days somehow. So I decided, okay, I'm not working on Wednesdays because I can, and you cannot prohibit me from doing that. Well, that's, I suppose, one of the advantages of working in Europe. Well, with all due respect for the you guys living in the United States, our labor rights, and yeah, so there are some I'm pretty happy I'm not actually living in the United States. Sounds strange, but that's the fact. What's even more interesting, when I was younger, I very much okay, I used the wrong element. When I was younger, I very much wanted to move to the United States because, you know, land of the freedom and all that stuff. But once you are getting slightly older, then, well, perhaps it's not really what you want to do after all. Because, like, you can have the retirement plan and so on and so on and so on. But it's only me. You might have a completely different take on that. I think I messed something up. I think I absolutely messed something up with the frame. Because this is the rear section, so it has to go. Something is messed up. Have they cut it in the wrong way, or have I messed something up with the design? But this is not the first Pirx 7 I'm assembling. So yeah, pretty interesting why the arms do not... Oh, and now they fit. Because they fit only when you assemble them for the 3rd time. And now, lovely, fantastic, outstanding. Now we have the front part of the frame assembled. So now the thread lock, because too much of the thread lock. Absolutely too much of the thread lock. I will have to remove most of it. Okay, I have to find some cloth and clean it. Okay, much better. Much better. Now we can nicely assemble the frame. Okie dokie. I'm kinda not watching the news recently, so I only know that there is some serious weather situation in the United States right now. But it's really like that bad, like really that much of the snow right now. Because, like I said, I'm not really following everything that's happening. So to actually bet, well, the weather will not be getting any better. Because let's be honest, the fact that we messed up, we helped to mess up the environment is true, and you cannot really pretend that it's not really happening, not really that bad. One more time, too much of the thread lock. Damn. Audio geek about the standoffs with wider tops, bottoms, yeah, but they are even harder to get than the straight ones. If you have your own machine shop and you can order those things by thousands, then yeah, you can basically order to manufacture or get whatever you want. But if you just want to buy a few for yourselves, the straight ones are almost the only practical and viable option to get. I got all my standoffs, I think, like 3 years ago. So maybe the situation got even worse in the meantime. Who really knows? But even back then, it was super complicated to get a nice set of standoffs, even from China, because like getting them locally was even like, the prices were totally absurd. Yes, I know if I had lathe, I could like manufacturing them by myself, but then considering how much time it would take me, I would pay much more in terms of the price for the thing. So that's the frame, as you can see. Looks kind of nice. I will have to get 2 more standoffs because I forgot that also there are standoffs in the front and in the back of the frame. So that's that. Luckily, I should have some extras over here. Absolutely not a problem. So that was simple. Screws to install that. 5mm silver ones would be nice, so most probably those should be enough. Yep, exactly, those will be absolutely enough. So one in the front, one in the back. And we are almost ready with that simple part. I still, by the way, have not designed all the 3D printed parts for this conversion, because in the back I have the intention to use the new M10 series of the GPS, and I do not have yet the mount for it, so I will have to design something. And also I will have to figure a fancy way to install both the antennas for the Air Unit in the back and the GPS and diversity, I think, because I will use diversity for the Express LRS, because diversity well, if you can use diversity, then diversity is usually better than not using the diversity, you know. So there will still be quite a lot of the tinkering and 3D printing, although I have prepared quite a lot of the parts already. So this one goes here. And this one goes here. RC-Tom, yeah, like generic crap. Just go to the AliExpress, type M3 standoffs, you will get them. Like the company that, the factory that is making Darwins, like probably they do not really care too much to order themselves custom standoffs. Like for example, I don't know who makes custom standoffs. Catalyst Machine Workshop. They have those fancy with the white bases, but they are kind of doing an expensive crap. So why not? But if you are not selling expensive crap, it just doesn't make sense to make the expensive parts at all. By the way, I like this. This is one of my favorite parts of my design of the drones. This is for the XT30. You just put the XT60. You just put the XT60 into that. Put the epoxy on the bottom and mount it tightly in place, and you have the perfect place to plug in the battery, because you just plug in like that. And then this is this is printed with the TPU, so you can move it. One of my best designs actually ever. And then we of course gonna have the top plate installed like that, and the frame is almost ready. So that will be it. And we can, I think we can catch it with some screws right now. By the way, I think I'm out of M3x6, because I'm pretty sure I had some of those some time ago, but now I don't see any. Cyril Kafir, hello, but if you will keep spamming, then I will use my privilege as the admin over here and ban you. So please stop. So no, I don't have the size, so we will just have to use the shorter ones. But I'm okay. So Mr. Cyril is like, he is no more. He's the late Cyril. If you watched ever the Monty Python's That Parrot sketch, this is exactly what I was referring to. He's the late Cyril. Dan asks if I have any more of the research on the auto-tune since the last video. There were some changes since my last video. But when was that? Now basically this only tunes feed forward and the rates, but the procedure is exactly the same. You just go into the air and fly and allow the INAV do the magic to find the correct rates and the PID tuning. Nothing really changed in terms of the way how you run it. For my personal liking, I think that for me at least, the eye gains at the end of the tuning are usually too low, so you have to slightly increase them, but that's basically all, nothing else, and it's actually a pretty simple and straightforward procedure. So Cyril is no more with us, and that's basically all we can say about Cyril. So that's that. I have no idea why I'm putting in all the screws, because I don't think that makes sense to put all the screws. The frame is securely in place. So now I suppose it's the time to start disassembling disassembling the older frame and prepare for the transplant. But because there will be some changes in the design, so it will not really be a direct transplant of the parts. What will stay? The camera, the air unit, the flight controller, the ESC will stay, the buzzer, the motors. However, the back will be completely different. I will use much smaller M10 GPS from Matek. There will be no secondary IMU, and I still have not decided if I will use the diversity antennas on the receiver or not. And to be honest, I don't know yet. I know that some time ago I said, yeah, I will use the diversity, but maybe this is not really the correct way to go, and we'll have to figure that out. Oh, Robert, nice of you that you could join us today one more time. And by the way, I have a few other people that are joining every time. Okay, wiring everything. Wiring is actually super simple with the FPV. There is not really that much to worry about because it's only basically serial ports. And with serial ports, just remember that TX goes to RX and the RX goes to TX. Plus, if you buy the flight controller from the decent manufacturer, they will give you a nice wiring diagram. And because you will get the wiring diagram, you more or less know what to do and how to do it. So I really would not be that much scared of the process. This should be relatively simple. And it's even hard to mess something up. Yes, of course, you can mess something up if you really try to, but it's not that you will mess something up every time. And there are plenty of different tutorials here and there that should allow you to do basically whatever you want. So that's that. The antennas for the air unit, I think we can just unplug them. Unplugged from here. Unplug from there. Remove the antennas for the receiver. And definitely we will not use ghost on this design as well. And I think I will not go with the diversity. I think I will ditch diversity for just a normal setup. Probably will be easier also to put everything in the back of the new frame. And one of the reasons I'm ditching the Pirx 7 is the amount of screws. Probably like too much, because like for example the arms are attached to the frame with 3 screws each, which is kind of nice because it gives you a pretty nice stiffness, and the arms are really not moving anywhere. It's just impossible for those arms to move, but it's complicated to assemble this thing. And my later experiments proven that, well, using the 2 arms, 2 screws per arm is absolutely enough. Not as good, but works just enough. And by the way, this frame has so much space in the front that you can put like 20 by 20 flight controller in the front, 30 by 30 controller in the middle, and also 30 by 30 in the back. If you really want to. Well, not that there is a really need for doing that, but if you want to, you have such an option. And like I said, the realities in the last 3 years kinda changed. We rather right now prefer lighter than heavier builds. And if the slightly smaller and lighter frame can do exactly the same what the bigger one, then maybe it's just enough, and no really need to have something super fancy when just the less fancy solution will work almost exactly the same. At least that's my take on that. Okay. So okay. Now I will have to remove. Okay, I will have to remove the air unit. Okay, so Air Unit is off. And let's get rid of the double-sided tape. Robert Ortleb asks which motors we are using on this build. This is standard. This is my motors for the 7-inch right now. This is Emax Eco 28. What's the size exactly? 2807. Emax Eco 2 2807. I think this is 1500 or 1200 version. I don't remember which one this is, but this is maybe not really like super freestyle, but on the 6S it really does amazing flight everywhere and fantastic motors to do whatever basically you want on the 7-inchers. Yes, I know you can probably get more advanced motors, but I'm using the Emax Eco for the last almost 2 years now, and so far I had absolutely no problems. I'm using this thing on the freestyle build, on my cine lifter, on something else, and they really work like a charm. Nothing wrong is going on, so why not? And I have much less problems with those motors than, for example, I had with some Xings, for example. Which until Xings, Xings are so amazing, but well, not always. So, as you can see, this frame is just shorter. It's just much shorter, especially in front, and still with the GoPro on top, you do not see the propellers. And there is a dedicated space in the back of the frame to install the air unit, so it fits nicely like that. And there is enough of the space to wire everything. So that's how we gonna do it. So this one goes over here. We will not be worrying about that anymore. We will, however, be worrying about the crap I have over here. This is the Matek H.743 Lite, or I don't remember how this thing is called. Pretty nice flight controller. And you can really run everything you want with this Matek, like with every H.743. But from time to time, I think I will have to rewire this thing, by the way. This thing also, because I don't like running air units, and I'm not running air units on the 6S. My way of doing that is just that I have the separate step down for the air unit only. I know that with many flight controllers you can just forget about this, and I think even with this one I could find like 9 volts output. Oh, this is Matek H.743 Slim. I'm pretty sure I can find the output. Let's quickly open the Matek website and find if we have a separate back for air unit, because maybe I will be just able to drop it. Matek H.743 Slim. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Mark with CFPV. Nice. Hi, Mark. What's up? Mark with CFPV. I like it. I like it. I really do like it. But for life, do not put the GPS on the GoPro. GoPro pollutes the GPS band that the GPS RF band that GPS uses, and you will have huge problems with having the fix like that. So no, this is not the way to do it. One Vision aerial, the 3D printed part of the X-T60 connector, is that the frame specific? I like that. Yes, this is frame specific. I have for my Pirx 7. I have it only for the Pirx 7. And this one HD, and also for this one, so they were part of the bundle when you can buy those things. But like I said, they are on top of the standoffs, so you cannot really like replace them with anything you want. It doesn't work really like that. I'm checking something because I want to. Yes. Yes, I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to pin this message because, well, why not? I always have the option to pin the message, so let's pin the message. So, Matic H743 will be external VBAT filtered output 1 amp for VTX and the camera, but I don't want the VBAT. I don't want to use the VBAT. I want to use the... I don't want... Fuck. I want to use 9 volts. I need 9 volts from this thing. Is there the option to get the 9 volts? Nothing is perfect. Exactly. Nothing is perfect. Especially this flight controller is not perfect because there is no 9 volt output anywhere, or at least I cannot find it. And because I cannot find it, I do have to assume that it just doesn't exist. So I will have to use the 9 volt stabilization after all. Not good, because I was kind of hoping I could get away without that. So this is what we will have to do during the soldering. Not cool. Not cool, Matek. Please make a better version. By the way, I got some new flight controllers. I have some new stuff from the Rush FPV. Looks like Rush FPV flight controllers will be finally supported by INAV. No idea when yet, but this is likely to happen. I was using those some time ago, pretty nice hardware, but back then they were not interested in having the INAV support. Now looks like they are interested in having the INAV support. So at least something good might come out of it. So okay, Matek, I'm disappointed. I really do disappointed. I don't want to use one more of those, but apparently I will just have to power the air units. Oh well. Let's do the soldering then. RC-Tom, no, F7s are not better. In terms of what's most important on the flight controller, I mean the flight, that doesn't really matter. Both F7 and F4s will give you exactly the same flight performance, because there is nothing that other cannot do. The only practical difference between the F7 and the F4s is that the F7s have the much more user-friendly I/O. That means, for example, the biggest practical difference is that with the H7s you do not have to worry about the serial port inversion, because F7s have built-in inverters on any serial port. So the practical difference was big when the S-Bus was still the serial protocol that everybody were using on their drones, links, radio links. So S-Bus, free sky times, you know, this good old times when the S-Bus was the thing. However, since the S-Bus is no longer a thing, it's like meh. the biggest advantage of the H7 was exactly the S-Bus option, because you could just connect any S-Bus anything. And to be honest, if you are still planning to use the S-Bus, the F7 might be a better way, but probably not F722, but F745. Those are probably the most the best on this in this way flight controllers. However, right now, when the S-Bus is no longer a thing, F4 will have absolutely no problems running every type of the hardware, as long as you are, of course, not using the S-Bus. What else? F722s. I would not buy F722s anymore. If I would have to buy flight controllers, I would not buy F722s. The reason for that is very simple, because F722s are almost out of flash and memory. It's not a problem now, but it might be a problem in the future, and then you will just have to replace it with something else. So if you are planning for running longer than F745s, or F405s are still great, or like me, because I like to have fancy stuff, I have quite a lot of the H7s already, because, well, H is higher letter than the F, so it has to be better as well. It's not really like that, but who knows what the future will bring. Like that, half of those wires will not be present in the new build, by the way, because I'm getting rid of the secondary IMO on this thing, so it just won't be there and won't be a problem. Okay, so fantastic, outstanding. And I also will be using slightly smaller GPS, M10, not M9, because it's just smaller. So secondary IMU, that went nowhere. I had pretty high hopes for the secondary IMU in INAV, but this thing will not be really happening, because even the next release of INAV will get rid of every trace of the secondary IMU. There were very little people who were using this, and this was always basically only the experimental option. And now the time for the experiments is over. No more experiments on that, so bye-bye. Let's get rid of the GPS. And yeah. And another thing that I will probably just have to sell, because I have no use for it anymore. But for life, on the O3, yes, that's what's happening. Like always, DJI decided to be DJI, okay? There is a special compatibility mode for the OSD that will one more time pretend it's Betaflight. However, there is still a pretty good chance that in the future something better will happen, because I think I said something about this yesterday. I've been actually contacted by the DJI, and they were kind of interested in, why this is not working, maybe we can do something to make this working, blah blah blah. So maybe something good will happen. I cannot, of course, promise anything, but it's a possibility. Don't procrastinate. Procrastination just kills your creativity, says the guy who loves to procrastinate on everything. But if you want to go somewhere, you cannot really procrastinate, at least too much. Like, for example, tomorrow I'm not procrastinating. I'm taking my daughter, and we are going to Berlin to visit some museums, because why not? Museums are cool, and you can see interesting things in the museums, right? Right. Question. Will I have to unsolder the motors from this build? Because there is a pretty good chance that I will not have to actually unsolder any motors. If the length of the wires will be at least tolerable for the new frame, maybe I will not have to resolder motors. This is a good news because I hate soldering motors. But let's see what will happen when I will remove it. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So that's one. That's two. That's three. Oh, I do agree. Hello. It's been a while since the last time I saw you around. How's your agree? How's your life, man? Okay, so that's that. And now we can remove the motors and we can see if I will have to unsolder motors or not. Studying for the MC driver license and rebuilding my squirt. Be careful with squirters. Okay, we are all adults. I think so. So from time to time, I think we can joke. Not suited for work way. Still, be careful, man. There might be a lot of cleaning afterwards. Turbo Lizard. What's the model of my computer mouse and why does it have a ball? Because it's not a mouse. This is a trackball. This is the Logitech MX Ergo. A few years ago, I had huge problems with the wrist pain, really like a nightmare. I was not able to work, and because I'm working with my PC all the time, so then I decided to try with the trackball. You just use it with your thumb. Might sound strange in the beginning, but wrist pain is no more. It's gone. It's completely, absolutely gone. I don't remember when was the last time I had a wrist pain, and it only took me 1 day to really get used to the fact that you are not moving your whole hand, but only moving your thumb to move the cursor left and right. Gaming, okay, you will not game, but I have a second mouse when I'm gaming from time to time, almost every day. I just took the second mouse and everything is fine. So that's that. Nice one, Robert. Yes, adult jokes. Because why not? Because like I said, I hope that we are all adults and we can just joke how much we want. And oh, okay, it's only 50 minutes of the stream. Interesting. I was under the impression that we spent much more time, but it's only 50 minutes. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. So maybe it will be enough time to attach the motors to the new frame, and then the build will be slightly less messy. Ian, thoughts of the walk snail? I have no thoughts on the walk snail. Honestly, that's my take on the walk snail. I'm happy that the walk snail exists because it's just a nice competition for the DJI. And it's an extremely good thing that we have the competition, because let's be honest, HD0 was not really the competition for the DJI. Yes, the HD0 was the competition for the analog, but not really for the DJI. So that's fine. It's good that they try. It's really like visible that they are trying very hard to take the market. Good, one more time good, because that means that somebody cares. However, I don't really have any opinions, because I never really use this thing. I'm not buying. Because I would have to like. I don't want to run with two sets of the goggles. Something that we discussed yesterday. Cadix some time ago decided I will not. That they will not. They will ghost me. So okay, Cadix ghosted me. No problem on that. But don't expect me to help you to improve your sales with saying something. That's why I'm not saying any opinions on this thing, because I have absolutely no opinions on this thing. That's just the reality. And now the frame is out. Okay, still the thing. But I will have to replace this, so I can just cut it. I can just cut those wires. No need to have them attached. And da-dum. The electronics are free. And I lost one of the spacers. Okay, here's one of the spacers. So now, let's try to check if the length of the motor wires is okay. If I will have to resolder the wires or not. Between you and me, I would probably prefer not to resolder the wires, because I hate soldering the wires. It always takes so much time, it's so irritating, you have to be so precise to not to have any kind of the gaps and too long of the wires. So I would prefer not to do it. But if I will have to do it, then I will have to do it. But probably not today. Or maybe today. I don't know yet. So that's that. We can also for now get rid of this thing, because we don't need it. And how we gonna do it? Probably like that. A challenge, I see. A challenge, I see. And I don't like what I see, because it doesn't fit. Okay. It will be fine. It will be fine. Okay, it will be fine. And I don't think I will have to resolder the wires. The geometry is maybe no... fuck. Oh, fuck. The wires are too short. Fuckity fuck. So... not like that. Bloody hell. So it won't work like this. Let's see if we will be able to do it like that. What if I will install the flight controller in this orientation? Then the motor wires are too short as well. Oh, I hate soldering motors. But I think I will have absolutely no choice, because the front one are just too short. I will have to make the wire extensions to be able to install the front motors. Damn. That's bad. That's really a bad news. What will happen if I will swap it 180 degrees? Maybe then it will fit. Somehow doubt it. Then the rear motors are okay, and the nope. I will have to make the extensions for wires. Mark C. FPV, you should do it. You should start programming. If you think that you can do it, then most probably you can do it. Programming is cool, programming is fine, and if you do programming, then trust me on that, you can get much more money than you are getting right now. Yeah, so now the question, how are we gonna do it, like that, or are we gonna do it like that? I don't think it makes any practical difference. So by the way, I will not be doing the wire extensions today because it's just taking too much of the time from everyone. But we already see that we will have to make wire extensions for the front motors because it just doesn't fit. Damn. No one can survive in this hobby without a 3D printer. That's just not realistic to assume that you can be an RC FPV without having a 3D printer. That's just so convenient to have the 3D printer that, well, you just have to have it. And that's all. There's nothing you can do actually about this. And because also having a 3D printer is not the worst thing you can have, then why not? It's not really for printing the whole airplanes because, well, Mark told us about how your 3D printed airplane ended recently. But you know, even printing those small accessories is such a handy way of doing these things. Okay, I have a X-T60, but it's one of those I don't like. Yeah, so I will not use this one because I don't like how this is ended. I will have to find the X-T60 and sub. Damn, it was supposed to be such a simple conversion, but now I already see that it will not be a simple conversion, and it will be actually quite a lot of work to pull it off, even starting with this section over here. So maybe even I will have the wire in front like this, because then the wiring of the cables will be simpler over here. They will be longer, but then if I will be able to put it like that and have it on this side, I think this will be actually okay. So we will have to do it in this configuration. I have to take the bigger soldering iron, however, to be able to solder everything over here, because I will have to remove this capacitor from here, and the capacitor will be moved to the plug, and I'll still have to find the plug and some thick wires. Okay, I will have to find some AWG 14 wires. Okay, some orange, it should be AWG 14, and also some black AWG 14. I hope I have some. I'm not, however, sure if I really do, because the last time I bought some XT14 was long time ago. Too short. I have red. Can we mix red and orange? I think we can. I even have some red AWG12. Some more orange 14. Oh well. But I think I bought some recently. I'm pretty sure I bought a few meters of AWG 14 at least a few months ago. Because I needed it for something. Nope. Nope. I can always use this wire. Now I need some advice. I know that AWG 14 will be enough, and I don't need anything bigger than that. On the other hand, yeah, it will be fine. I will just shorten this thing. And you see, the problem is solved. I have some AWG 14. Because this wire over here doesn't have to be AWG 14. Absolutely doesn't. And something to put on the list to buy. I need AWG 14 wires. But I think I bought some. Let me check if I really bought some AWG 14 recently. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. But I was sure I bought some AWG 14. But I haven't. Heh. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Excuse me for a second. Okay, and I'm back. So, next part of the puzzle is that I still have to find some... of the connectors, plugs for the XT60. Recently, I'm also almost out of them. Yeah. So let's find a female XT60 that will fit into this contraption. Nah. Not this one, 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 no, no. On this one I would have to cut the... Maybe this is just an option to cut it. Maybe that will just work just fine. Because apparently I don't have any of the non-M X-T60s. Oh no, I still have one. Hey, you see? I have one, and the one is exactly how much I need. So, the last one. That's the last X-T60 plug I do have. We are lucky today. We are lucky today, so now what we will have to do, we will have to basically get rid of this capacitor. And when we will get rid of this capacitor, then I will also solder the wires. Hot, 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 hot. Always use the proper soldering tip for the job. And that's that. So the soldering iron is heating up. And that's done. Kirkirov, no, sorry, I have not watched the video from Tom Stanton yet. I was kind of busy with different things. In the future, sure, but no really idea when I will be able to do it. Hopefully this year. Whatever that really means. Ian FPV wants to buy Pirx 5 next month. Can I use individual ESCs on the arms and install stack 14 by 14 nano camera? So yes, ESCs on the arms are not a problem. There is enough of the space on the arms to do so. With the 14 by 14 nano camera, you might have to design slightly different mounts for the camera, because the originals are rather for the not the nano but for the micro size, and the TPU might be slightly too much, but yeah, no problem on that. It will work absolutely just fine. Maybe even the originals, if you just like screw them eagerly enough, it will be fine. This was designed for the 19mm micro size, but I don't think there is anything that prohibits this thing from working with the nano size, to be honest. So let's the soldering begins, because we have today quite a lot of the soldering joints to remove, and I don't think that the soldering iron is still hot enough. Ian Lauder, to answer your question, that seems like a problem with the OSD chip. So either the wiring is off or just the OSD chip is dead. And no, I have not, I never had a flight controller that had this situation, but I've heard about a few cases like that. And yeah, it can happen. It can absolutely happen. This is only electronics, and electronics just dies from time to time. Should not be happening too often though, because why? Why don't you solder? I think the soldering iron is still not hot enough. So let's give it a few minutes more. And then let's just... Porsche INAV has different mappings for the flight control, for the drones and for airplanes. So the mappings might be different. Of course, all depends how the pins are allocated in the first place. Because if you have the first 4 outputs on the same timer, then no, you cannot use this flight controller for the wings, because then there's just not enough of the timers to use correctly. But if you will just use the mode for the wings, then you will see in the INAV the motor mapping, the servo mapping for the thing, and then you will be able to decide if this is what you want or not, or you can just read the code. Also a possibility. I hate this kind of the soldering and soldering job. But at least the soldering iron is right now nicely hot, and it's nicely melts the solder. So that's the only good thing about that. And okay. What have I done with the comparator over here? Have I damaged the comparator? Nah, it's only some gunk. Yeah. So it's fine. Luckily, it's fine. Let's quickly replace the solder on the soldering pad, because the fresh solder is just much nicer to work with than the old solder. And yeah. So now let's remove the second one. Ha, lovely. Ah, fuck. Fuckity fuck. This ESC from Fox here I have, this is the Reaper 65 amps. It's cool, but it has one problem. It has the soldering pads just slightly too close to the electronics, especially to the shunt resistors. And it's kind of irritating to solder. But besides that, really pretty cool. Pretty cool one. Okay, so that's that. Now let's solder the wires, and after soldering the wires, we will be able to say that this part of the build is done. Not really, but you know what I mean. Solder sucker. Yeah, solder sucker. From time to time, I'm thinking to buy the automatic one, that one that has constant suction. But then on the other hand, I'm not really using this kind of the devices that often, so maybe that will be just something like an overkill. Okay, the wire is nicely prepared. Let's get this thing. Let's heat up the soldering pad. And let's attach the negative wire to the ESC. Hopefully without too much of the problems. And hopefully, already some problems. Already the solder doesn't want to flow. That's the problem when you start to attach the wire, because just the wire acts like a heatsink, and unfortunately it just takes away the heat. So we will have to start improving the joint a little with some extra. In general, unfortunately, the bigger the wire, the thicker the wire, the harder it is to solder. I'm not happy with the quality of this joint. Absolutely not happy with the quality of the joint. But it will be fine. Yeah, it will be fine. It's only a drone. And it's only the amateur drone, so you do not really have to be like super. You do not have to have the super nice joints all the time to be just in the flyable condition. As long as it's not a cold joint, that just like, you know, it even smells like a bad soldering joint. Yeah, Robert, you're right. The ground wire is always the best way to test if your soldering iron has enough of the wattage and big enough of the soldering tip. This I am using AWG12, usually fine. Luckily, I'm not really doing a lot of that really big joints. So it's fine. Maybe one day I will get something that has 100 watts, but not today. This is 60, I think. I think this is 60 watts. Enough for most of the cases. Not all. Sometimes you wish you have more, but it's really like only from time to time. I will be quiet now, because I want to solder this wire. I have to concentrate. It's like when you are looking for the parking spot, parking place. You should turn off the radio because you have to concentrate so much. This is exactly the same case with the soldering. I think I should buy a bigger soldering iron. I really do think that I should buy a bigger soldering iron. Okay. Not pretty, but yeah, cool cut, exactly. It was too much tidy, too clean. And we very nicely progressed with the clean desk into the normal state of the affairs on any workbench. Okay, I think that this basically right now solves the problem of the okay, this one will go like that. So yeah, this thing is solved. This is not a problem anymore. I think I should already attach the capacitor, and I do still have to figure out where I will put in the buzzer, because of the air unit in the back. Air unit will be like that in the back. So then the buzzer, maybe over here. Yeah, on top of the flight controller. This is a good place. This is a good place to install the buzzer in this case. Buzzer, whatever. Because there is just a nice place on top of it to do so. So it will be like that. It will be like that. The button should be accessible. Maybe even like that. No, like that is not a good case with the button on top. But let's quickly check how this thing will work. And okay, no, not like that. It will have to be like that, but on top of the flight controller, and everything should be fine. Everything will be fine, everything will be fantastic, everything will be outstanding. I think it's time to start connecting the motors, front motors to the arms, because unfortunately I will have to... No, the capacitor. Before that I will still have to attach the capacitor. Still not sure in which orientation I will attach the capacitor, or maybe not, maybe in a different way. This is always the thing that, okay, let me check something. This is how I have it in the freestyle version of this frame. And in the freestyle version of the frame, I have it like this. And I think I will have it in exactly the same way in this build after all. Yeah, like that. So the capacitor will be, after all, on top of the flight controller, not the other way around. So this is something that I should probably solder before I will move forward. But yeah, that's exactly how we're gonna do it. Yup. That's exactly how we're gonna do it. I will, however, have to extend the wires on the capacitors a little, because they are just too short. And how much time we still have it, or maybe just use a different capacitor. This is okay. Let me get my capacitor box. Yes, Robert, probably you're extremely correct. I just got spoiled with so much of the space in the old frame. Over there, like, you could easily do whatever you wanted, however you wanted. So 35 volts, 35... I would prefer more voltage on the 35 volts. Yeah. I don't want to... 35 volts for 6S. Not great. Now, which one? This one or this one? I will use the black one, because why not? Worst case scenario, the capacitor will just explode. And then we're gonna have some fireworks. So I will solder this thing like that. And also I will put some heat shrink on the capacitor. So that it will be protected. Yup. Yup. Like this and like this. And by the way, I'm not cleaning this desk this evening. Absolutely not. Okay, so this will go like this will go like this, and we will be able to say that the capacitor is in place. Well, not really, but we will be able to pretend it's in the correct place. Lovely. Let me bump the temperature on the soldering iron a little. Cool cut, not always. It's better to check the marking. The electrolytic capacitors should always have the minus on the plus. Like for example, over here there's a huge minus over here. That means that this one is the minus. On the LEDs, it's true that I don't remember the longer is anode or the cathode. But it's true, but with capacitors, I would not really trust it that much, and always verify with the marking on the capacitor. With the ceramic capacitors, I think there's a bigger chance that this is true, but one more time, always triple check. On the other hand, usually the ceramic ones does not care about the polarity, so over there it's not really that much of the importance. And we have the capacitor in place. So that's that. And this will go like this will go like this, and this will go like this. Not pretty, but will work. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So serial 1, serial blah 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 blah, VBUT ground. Fantastic, outstanding. We are the champions and all that crap. So I think now it's a good time. It's actually the only time, the correct time to install the flight controller in the frame, and this part of the build process will be done. Of course, the next one will be making the wires for the front motor slightly longer, because unfortunately they are just too short. That's how this frame is built comparing to the previous frame. By the way, this is always the thing when you are replacing the motors between different frames. Almost like in half of the cases you got the length of the wires wrong. I always try to leave some at least a few millimeters of the extra wire length in case, just that it's too short and you will have to replace it with somewhere. But even then, it's not always really like always long enough, and you know, and I really do hate making the wires longer. Making the wires shorter, okay, but making the wires longer, I hate this, and that's all. That's all what I can say about that, unfortunately. Maybe I should use the new nuts. By the way, if I can tell you a secret, my way of protecting the nuts, because like here I'm installing the stack with the normal nuts, normal aluminium nuts, or they are steel, I don't remember. I just like thread them without any glue, and then just use that one drop of the CA glue to lock them in place. Works like a charm. Yes, I know you should not really use the CA glue like that, but you know what? It works. And because it works, you can just use it. I have too much of the mess on my desk right now. Absolutely, I do. And I have no idea where the fourth nut is right now. Not cool, Pavel, not cool. Hello, M3, square nut, here you are. Robert Ortleb, on your question where to install the capacitor, honestly, it doesn't really make any difference, at least practical difference. Yes, in theory, you should install them, the capacitors, as close to the motors as possible, because the motors are the things that, well, they generate the back EMF, and they add all the noise, because, well, they are the inductive load and stuff. So as close as possible. But let's be honest, if your wire is only a few centimeters long, there won't be really a practical difference in terms of the capacity of the capacitor, okay, to smooth out the spikes. It's not really that it will be a huge practical difference. So yeah, it's better to have it closer, but the CA, of course, was open long enough that the... Okay, I have to open the new CA glue, because the life of the CA glue just ended. The sad truth of the CA glues is that CA glues do not live very long. Only a few months after opening. And even sometimes, even when you don't open the CA glue, it also gets just too thick, and it's basically unusable. I always try to, if I don't have any specific use, I always buy the thin one. Because the thin one, it will just live slightly longer. And when you open this thing, always keep it vertical. Never allow it to fall to one side, because then it will just clog the tip of the bottle, and that's all. And I buy almost the cheapest crap. And you know what? It works almost exactly like the most expensive crap. And just like that, I have the 4 screws secured in place. Doesn't look pretty, doesn't look nice, but you know what? It works. So the front motors will go like this, but the rear motors, I will have to make the cables just longer. Too bad. But let's quickly install the front motors, at least temporarily, with the screws. No thread lock yet, because I'm also not tightening the screws yet. This is only to hold the motors in place for now. I will later apply the thread lock to secure the screws in place. It looks ugly. I added slightly too much of the... looks extremely ugly. I added slightly too much of the CA on the on this, but you know, you can always like do something like that, and you cannot even spot the difference. After a few flights, everything will be beautifully green. So one more time, doesn't really make too much of the difference. Okay, that's really like ugly. That's really ugly. Robert, you say that two things we don't do over here is the religion and politics. I would not actually go that far. We usually don't do religion and politics, because there were at least a few cases that we were doing politics over here. And although I try to keep my religion and, or actually not a religion, beliefs, non-beliefs, however we're gonna call that, sometimes, well, something clicks in. Not very often, but there's always a pretty good chance that I will be in the talkative mood and I will share an opinion or two. But no, in general, we do not do religion and politics. That's actually correct. You know what? I think I will also replace the wires on the front motors as well, because it actually looks ugly. So yeah, I have enough of the AWG18 to do it, and I think I will have to do it because it really looks ugly on the motors. And as much as I honestly hate elongating the motor wires, I think this is the only good choice over here, because it just looks ugly. You see, this one is like meh. Maybe if I could swap, well, maybe not. Maybe it's not really that bad after all. Okay, so no, this one is fine. This one is fine. If I will connect the wires correctly in place over here, this will not be even close to the... okay, no. So, okay. No, I'm not really replacing the wires after all. At least on the front motors. Okay. But unfortunately, on the rear motors, I will have to do it. Hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Because it's always such a waste of time you can spend doing something completely different. But that's just the reality, I suppose. So this thing goes over here. This thing goes over here. So this one is like that, and this one, yes, Bandita, it's a Tessa gaffer's tape, exactly. No, see, Tessa. Kinda useful crap. Yeah, so this will also be like this. This will be like this. Not pretty, but will have to do. Sometimes I wish I had a full bucket of motors. I could just treat them as single-use things. I can't. And that's a good reason, because that would be extremely expensive. But sometimes I just wish that was the possibility. I know there are people who do it like that. Okay, too short of the wire, throw it out and use the new one. But I am not one of those. This goes like this. And the last one will go like this. Not pretty, but should work. I also can, assuming this will go like this and this will go like this, I also can right now cut the wires for the X30 mount, and maybe we can even solder this thing today. So I should turn this thing on after all, because it will be like this. This will be like this. Zip ties are fine, but I switch to the tape because it protects the cable slightly better. For a few times I had a case when just the zip ties moved and some of this part was floppy. This was far from perfect, and was causing that the propeller hit the wire once or twice, and usually cut it. So with the tape, at least the tape is not moving anywhere. Oh. And because the tape is not moving anywhere, there is not a danger that it will move and something bad will happen in the process. So the wires will be okay, something like that. So the wires will be okay. So the wires will be that long. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So let's strip the wires. Oops. Let's strip the wires. Let's solder the X30 in place. And we will call it a day, because I don't think I have enough of the internal strength to continue soldering. So that's that. Oh, I have to find the shrink wrap. Ah, yes, the shrink wrap. And no, too small of the shrink wrap. I have no idea where the shrink wrap is. At least the correct size of the shrink wrap, because I have very thin. I have slightly bigger and slightly bigger and slightly bigger, but not really the size I need for the X-T30 connector, X-T60 connector. So we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. I don't think that we will continue today any further, because only of the problem of the shrink wrap. No, this is too thin. Yeah, exactly, this is too thin. Where I can have the shrink wrap? Okay, so no more soldering for us today, unfortunately, because I have no idea where my shrink wrap is. So that ain't gonna happen now. Robert, you might be a genius. Robert, you might be a genius. No. Unfortunately not. But I'm pretty sure I have somewhere a shrink wrap. A big, nice, thick shrink wrap. The Y4 flies. That's the answer. I have to record the video about the Y4. It flies. It's okay. Nothing really super fancy. It flies. Maybe... No, unfortunately, I have no idea when my shrink wrap is. This is why, well, this is all for today. I will not continue with the topic because without the shrink wrap, I cannot really solder this thing. So thank you very much for watching, and I would like to wish you a happy new year because the 2022 is finally ending. And by saying finally ending, I do mean finally ending because I'm kind of happy that it's really ending. That was not the best year, at least for me, and for different really like reasons. So thank you very much for watching. Most probably we will meet in 2 weeks on the regular live stream, but this will be confirmed yet. So thank you very much and have a nice end of the 2022, I suppose. Ciao.